Straight talk from Israel. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hi everyone, this is Orly Benny Davis and this is from Jerusalem with Love. Today is April 14, 2021 and we are here in Israel, the Holy Land, the only land that God Almighty gave to the world, and Israel is its custodian. By the testimony of the Bible, the book of all books that gave us the courage and the faith to do God's work. However, for 73 years since the creation of the State of Israel, the Jewish people needed to defend themselves and created the Israeli Defense Force to protect the Holy Land and the Jewish land and the Promised Land. Today we are here in Israel commemorating the memory of the fallen, one who gave their life to the freedom that we all cherish. Our prayer is in a holy tongue, and it's to bless and to bless the memory of them. So let me see if I can recite it for you. יזכור עם ישראל את בניו ובנותיו הנאמנים והאמיצים, חיילי צבא הגנה לישראל, וכל לוחמי המחתרות וחטיבות הלוחמים במערכות העם ואנשי הקהילת המודיעין, הביטחון, המשטרה ושירותי בתי הסוהר, אשר חירפו נפשם במלחמה על תקומת ישראל, וכל מי שנרצחו בארץ ומחוצה לה בידי מרצחים מארגוני הטרור. יזכור ישראל ויתברך בזרעו, ויבל על זיו העלומים בחמדת הגבורה, וקדושת הרצון ומסירות הנפש של הנספים במערכה הנכבדה. יהיו חללי מערכות ישראל, עטורי הניצחון, חתומים בלב ישראל לדור ודור. But the battle is going on. It's a blessing just to remind us all that their sacrifice gave us the freedom that we live under. And it's important for us to recognize them in these days, and between the start of the Independence Day that will start tonight, we need to recite that and pray. And we spend all the day praying and remembering how hard it is to fight for one country, and freedom is never free. And to be Jewish people in the land of Israel is actually a hard task. So stay put, and we'll be back after this.
Israel is located in one of the most volatile areas in the world. Israel is an island of stability in a sea of war and unrest. In the midst of this turmoil, Israel stands out as a beacon of order and human progress. Each week we update you on what's happening in this, the Jewish state, a true light unto the nations. This is Jay Shapiro. Join me every Thursday on Israel News Talk Radio.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. I want to welcome all our friends from around the globe, from United States of America, from Israel, Australia, United Kingdom, France, Czech Republic, and Japan. And first, let's give condolences to Queen Elizabeth for the loss of her beloved Prince Philip. We all in the world learned how incredible assistant was to the Queen, and what incredible spirit he had. We tested it a little on Twitter. It was funny, and God bless his soul. Now, other country I want to congratulate is, in a different mode, of course, is Japan. that they had the golf, the tournament that got the victory, and congratulate, because now we have the Olympic coming up in Japan, so it's going to be a triumphal one. God bless you all. Really, it's a good thing. And for the rest, we're going to talk a little about Iran, so I'm going to mention France stand in front of the International Court of Justice, which was just and beautiful, to say that the Court of International Justice doesn't have jurisdiction any mandate to come to trial against the state of Israel. So people, also United Kingdom did the same. So we appreciate that, and we recognize how important it is in this connection. Now, let me tell you, this day of Memorial Day finish up in a few. And, of course, the blessing for the for the anniversary, for the Independent Day of Israel is coming. And I got one from a very, very important person that I appreciate, respect, and I think that is incredible, Congressman Bacon from the 2nd District of Nebraska. He's sometimes guest on our show, so he's beloved friend, and we love it. And this is here the Congressman Bacon statement on Israel Independence Day. Today, I offer my congratulations and best wishes to the State of Israel as they celebrate 73 years of independence. Since 1948, Israel has remained a multi-party democracy that values freedom, religion, liberty, and justice for all, the same principle enshrined in the U.S. Declaration of Independence. For centuries, Jewish communities have prayed for peace in their original homeland. Today, we remember and honor the courageous leaders throughout history who helped shape and establish Israel's statehood, like David Ben-Gurion, one of the key founders of the State of Israel and Israel's first prime minister, President Harry Truman, who was bold, whose political bold courage led the U.S. to be the first nation to recognize Israel's rightful independence. David Daniel, Mickey Marcus, a West Point graduate and Israel's first modern general who played an instrumental part in achieving Israel liberation during the 1948 Arab-Israel War, and the thousands of Israeli soldiers who made an ultimate sacrifice while defending the nation from those who threatened their very existence. Israel will forever be remembered as a nation that fought and continued to fight for their own fate and sovereignty. The U.S. stands with the people of Israel, and we commend them for many accomplishments they have made throughout history to defend liberty, religion, and self-governance. While I remain in Congress, I will always stand and defend the people of Israel by supporting legislation that further strengthens our military and political alliance, ensuring Israeli security is not at risk, and to condemn all forms of anti-Semitism. Israel is our best ally and the only democracy in the Middle East. We must reject that movement that boycott, isolate, and sanction Israel. I will continue to pray for the people of Israel and the land of Israel for generations to come. Sincerely, Congressman Don Bacon of Nebraska, 2nd District. God bless you, Congressman. What a lovely, lovely statement. We thank you. We thank you for the Israeli people. We thank you for being such an incredible friend. We thank you for taking the fight to ever deserve it, because we have so many people that right now are playing in so many fields, and we must recognize that they are endangering world stability, they're endangering even the very first idea of liberty for the world. You know, there are people that are dressed like lamb, but they are actually fox, or they are snake in other ways. So we're going to keep on marching in, and we're going to fight against anti-Semitism. of course, because anti-Semitism is another way to say that they don't accept Jewish people. Jewish people represent people of the book. And that's why I start every show with the beginning that we are entitled to be on this holy ground of the land of Israel, because we are the people who are supposed to be the custodian for the land that God Almighty gave us. And this is the God of Israel. And anytime they want to fight Israel via BDS or any kind of form, they must recognize that they're fighting the God of Israel, and good luck. God of Israel took us out of Egypt. I don't think you guys are, you can think that you're entitled. You can think that you deserve. There is a story about that happened a few months ago that there was a panel of discussion, blah, blah, the American hosted, online panel that talk about the Palestinian solidarity. And the panelist was Mark Lemon Hill, a professor of media study in the urban education at Temple University, and very outspoken Black Lives Matter activist, who admitted that one of the explicit goals of Black Lives Matter movement was to embrace BDS and dismantle the Jewish state of Israel. They never surprise us, and anytime they say Black Lives Matter, I know it's Farrakhan, because Farrakhan is the instrumental in this. And when Farrakhan sent an activist or, deranged terrorist, to blow up or try to go through the barricades of the Congress, I say, you guys have a homegrown terrorist that is been building the power and the force for 20 years. And by dismissing it like it's one episode, you are actually don't look at the whole picture, because Black Lives Matter is active. Of course, I would be outraged if people like the people in Minnesota that have so many stories about policemen shooting at their children. They are young, 20 years old, that got shot. You have Floyd that, people saying that putting the knee on the neck of somebody for 8 minutes is okay. So people of Minnesota might be outrageous, and they have all the right to do so. And I second that. You need to understand that overpowered police people sometimes forget that they are not God Almighty. So they need to come to trial. They need to be put in front of the people, and they need to be judged and put in jail. There is no question about it. That policeman is not a policeman, is actually aggravated assault with a license plate. It's really, really dangerous. So I have no problem with them, with anybody, when you have a just cause to stand up for your matter. Of course, if you're black, white, or anything, because Black Lives Matter means it's actually explicit for black, which I understand that they are the target of the policemen. But if you're talking about racism, there is racism everywhere. And, being anti-Semite is not racist. Maybe it's Semitism is actually, they call it a race or whatever. I believe it's a religion, and religion has nothing to do with race, because we in the Jewish faith has all different colors and races, so I don't understand. Anyway, we are going to start our celebration of the Independence Day with talking maybe with some friends from England to talk about the situation in India, where people are, of the Jewish faith were respected. And I know that we learned and we got news from the Moroccan community this morning also about Jewish people giving food in the holiday of Ramadan to the Moroccan needy. And they said that the community there is flourishing always, and they've been respected ever since, the Jewish people of Morocco, because, first of all, they're respectful people and they understand respect. the fact that they have so many problems in Israel because they lack of respect sometimes to them, and that's a fault. And then we can recognize that there are so many ways of people to attract attention and doing the right thing, but being anti of anything is wrong. So, and whoever wants to dismantle the Jewish state of Israel, this is the promised land. Get in line. People try it, but it never happens, okay? So let's go to a break, and after that we'll try to get our friends on the line, okay? So stay put, and we'll be back after this.
The Tamar Yona Show.
Tamar? She's sassy.
She's smart.
She's funny.
But she's also a real Jewish mother.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tamar Yona. And yes, I can be all of those things. But at Israel News Talk Radio, I'm here to bring you the news stories and guests that you may not hear anywhere else. Join me live on air Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays for the most unique and bold talk radio in Israel.
The Tamar Yona Show.
Shalom, I'm Leah Aharoni. Join me on my show, News from the Torah. Each Sunday, we'll use the weekly Torah portion as a prism for understanding the news today. Listen to News from the Torah to gain clarity about the times we're living in and to understand your own spiritual path in the process. News from the Torah every Sunday on Israel News Talk Radio.
And this is from Jerusalem with Love. Today we have the honor and incredible pleasure to have one of our friends that speaks for me from London, and is an Indian by birth. So I want to welcome Adi to the show. Hi, Adi.
Hi, Orly. Nice to be speaking to you.
Finally, we get you on. You were elected for so many times, but we have some good news to talk about, especially when we're talking about Israel Independence Day and the relationship that Jewish people have around the world with different countries, and India being a special country to the Jewish people. Tell us about it.
Yes. So as per the recorded documentary evidence available with us, both in India and in Israel, the ties between Hindus and Jews go back to at least 3,700 years ago, back to the times of King Solomon. So during that time, during one of the various trade journeys that Jewish merchants took to India, some of them were shipwrecked. So they returned to India, and they initially settled in the southern parts of India and the western coast of India, and they were received by Hindu kings, settled wherever they wished to, and they were accorded privileges given only to kings right from day one.
That's incredible. It's also, we mentioned that the Moroccan king was very graceful to the Jewish community there, and that's something that we respect a lot. So, but India's story is very special because I know that many Israelis go to India because they love to go there, and forget the food that they like. They like also the atmosphere. People when they say India is like, oh my God, they love to go there. But to know that the Jewish community been respected and been for so many years there, that's humongous news for me. I never knew about it, and we never talked about it. But India is a partner in many fields. I know in the field of technology, and especially we had a visit of the Prime Minister here, and it was a very graceful one. And India is a power in the world, a very quiet one, but a very powerful nation that we sustain and we support. And I think that the thing is mutual. Thank God.
Absolutely. The feeling is mutual. And it is a very nice coincidence that we are talking on this very holy day, which I believe is the Independence Day in Israel. Am I right?
Tonight, yes, absolutely.
Yes. So there's an interesting history. During the lead up to the creation of the State of Israel in 1948, one of the most pivotal moments in Jewish history was the ending of the Ottoman Empire and their hold on the port city of Haifa, which enabled the Jewish rebels to receive weapons and supplies from abroad. This happened in the year 1918 when Hindu soldiers fighting for the British Army marched upon Haifa, ended the Ottoman rule there, and rescued the head of the Baha'i faith whom the Ottomans were going to execute.
Wow. Yeah, that's why we have the Baha'i places in Haifa, which is great. But tell me more.
Yeah. So besides this, our countries are linked primarily via trade. And these days, there is a nascent development in the defense sector as well, wherein we have some manufacturing collaborations. And besides that, the high-tech sector collaborations are also taking place. As of now, we have just some small-scale government-to-government, say, bodies that are created to take care of these two domains. But hopefully in the near future, peer-to-peer collaboration will also take up.
Yeah, I think so. We need that. You see, because this world is right now is divided between the good guys and the bad guys. And the bad guys, for some reason, they always want to blow up Israel, like Iran and other, activists of other nations that sometimes they think that the Jewish people are too much for their taste, and they think that they can go on. But, we came back after 2,000 years not to play ping pong. We are real, we are here, and we have all the technology and everything. And thank God America is with us. And I'm so grateful that, India is a good friend of ours. I know that there are other powers that are not so upfront, but playing very well with us, and they like to keep it quiet, and which we respect that. But the idea is, the good guys needs to come forward and just claim that we are on the same side. It doesn't, the side of good, the side of mankind, side of humanity, the beauty. We need to support each other to fight, the bad, the enemy of peace. This is a duty that we all have to do, and it never stops until we come to that day where we actually live in peace and quiet everywhere around the globe, right?
Absolutely, I agree 100% with this. And on this issue, I believe that the Hindu and Jewish communities will find a lot of common ground moving forward, because if you see our people, we are in an interesting situation as of now. So both the Hindu community and the Jewish community are represented as a majority in just one country in the world. And both our largest diasporas are in the United States of America. Right? And there is a significant amount of gulf in the perception of our people in India and what actually goes on there. So if you take the example of the Jewish people, right, people literally come at them for doing something to Palestine, and it's the same with our people as well. People denigrate us by
to Palestine when it was before the creation of State of Israel, because it's the land that was named by the Roman. It wasn't, there wasn't a state of Palestine, right? Let's not confuse the audience.
Absolutely. I'm saying something else, that these days, whenever our people are targeted, it is usually for Jews under the cloak of quote-unquote Palestinian rights. And when somebody targets the Hindus, they target us under the garb of fighting for Kashmiri rights. The methodologies, the challenges confronting our people are the absolute same. And I
Same,
believe
right.
that our response should be unified and synchronized as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got that right. I hope now the story in the Himalaya, is ended and you guys are all good there because you had some challenges a few months back. Wasn't funny at all, but we cheer for a good resolve of that because India is a good country that does herself does good to the neighbor. She takes care of her people. She doesn't mind, and there is no that feeling of global expansion, even though, the right of navigation is always something that the world is entitled to. And I know that there was an issue. Hey, you cannot miss that news. But I think it's a good thing because we need sometimes to wake us up to the reality that we're not alone in this world, and there is a God, and it's not us. So sometimes there is a power that come and said, "Hey, this is where you are. Keep on side and play nice." And when everything is good, nothing will come out of it, and it will turn, and they keep on going. Right now, we have so many issues on the table, but I need to let you go right now because we need to wrap it up. I need to talk to some other to some other issue, but I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and telling the world that India has a history with the Jewish people for back to 3,000 years. And it's amazing that we kept it quiet so long, and that Hindus and Jewish people faith actually respect the same kind of understanding of common value, community value that we have. Isn't it true?
Absolutely, 100% spot on.
Exactly. That's why we can get along very well, because we respect each other, and that's where we respect other people. That's how people can live on. You see, respect is to mankind is the very beginning. Even that's why we start to respect humanity, respect children, respect animals, respect people. That's how your environment is happy with you, and that's how God is good with you too. It comes with the territory. But sometimes the bad guy comes, and you need to be ready and alert. And then you get the Israeli. Okay?
Always alert.
All right, sweetheart. Listen, be good. And I hope that you spend the day well and study well in London. I wish you all the best. I know that it's a stubborn time in England, and I do respect the morning that they all, going through, and but it's in good, good age, we say. So God bless his soul from Prince Philip, and spend the day well. I don't know if you're quarantined. I think that you're already open, right, in London?
Yes, we're slowly opening up.
That's good. That's good. May it goes well, and the coronavirus will go away, so we can all open to the world and start visiting each other countries. All right?
Take care and have a nice day, and hopefully see you soon in London.
God willing. Yes, I want to see the London, in good time. God bless you, Adi. Thank you so much for being on the Israeli News Talk Radio from Jerusalem with Love. It's really important for you to keep it on tune. Listen up. Okay? God bless you. So we're going to go to a break, and after that, we're going to talk about the stand-up with Iran, and politics as usual. So stay put. We'll be back after this.
In a time where feelings have become fact, where rational thought and common sense has disappeared, one man stands above it all.
I'm Howie Sobiker, your political hitman.
Political Hitman airs every Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. North American time, 7 a.m. Israeli time, only on Israel News Talk Radio.
Are you interested in transforming your life, drawing closer to the Creator, and uncovering the deeper meanings and hidden treasures in the Hebrew Bible?
Then join me, Rav Yitzhak Michelson,
and me, William Hall,
on the Science of Kabbalah, where we are seeking to narrow the gap between what we understand of our physical and spiritual worlds. So make sure to tune in every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Israel time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Israel News Talk Radio.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. All right. It's the end up of the Memorial Day, and we're gonna start celebrating soon the Independence Day of the State of Israel. A state that can rock your world if you come to visit. It can pump your heart, and it can challenge every being of yourself. And trust me, it's not easy. It's not a picnic if you try to live here. However, it's ever exciting because the opportunity of knowledge, of eye-opening ideas are immense. And Israel, of course, is in the center of so many things, especially on stopping the enemy of peace of invading to other people's countries. And that's where the enemy of peace wants to attack Israel, because we're really upsetting them. That's given to the Iranian guy that decided that the sheep that are near the United Emirates are upsetting him. So he bombed the first one. Then I think that in repercussion, somebody bombed or put something on their ship, but didn't get them out of commission. Something that it's really strange, because it's like a glove, putting the glove on. They're going to attack it, but not really. And I think that if it was Israeli, I would suggest you guys, or you do the deal on stop. Don't shoot in vain. But yesterday there was another attack of another Israeli vessel near the United Emirates, as I said. And in fact, they say that it's the connection that somebody blew up the electrical connection in the nuclear facility of the centrifuge. And that's why the Iranians say that now they're going to enrich uranium to 60%, even more. And let me start with saying that when Iran sit on the table with America and the same day turn on the centrifuge, I think that they're not coming in good faith. Forget what happened after. But in the first movement, if you come to play with American, especially when the smart American, because, it's not America for nothing, and you try to cheat them and said that your plan is in that position that there is no way to return, and you accelerate the centrifuge just to show that, that to empower, to bolden your position, you actually made yourself a villain, because you're not in good faith. Now, somebody blew up the electrical routine. If it was Israeli, they should have blown the whole thing. I don't understand why they were, again, it was soft. That's why I think that it's inside job, and it's not even us from American or Israeli, because there is a lot of resistant guys to the regime there, don't you think? Don't you think that since 2008 there was rebels there that they shot them and everything, killed them in the street, like the women without weapon or anything? If they want to damage you, they damage you from inside. What do you think? This is inside job. You claim that it's Israeli, and I claim if it's Israeli, they should blow up the place, because we are not going to let you, Iran, get any nuclear weapon, because your target is Israel. And it doesn't matter that there is Arab Israeli that lives in this area. Not that they remind our friends around the globe that they live here freely, and they want us to defend them from their Arab friends or guerrilla that they are fighting in the street right now. They forget to mention that they're coming to us to say, please help us. And we're trying, but if you don't volunteer for the police, if you don't serve in the police, if you don't serve in the army, but there are a few that serve in the army, yes, and we have also a few sacrifices of the non-Jewish population. Actually, we have many that we can remember and record and honor. And of course, there were Muslim Arabs too that served. There was Muslim Arab girls that put the flag and they go outside, because Israel is a country that it's a country of God. And if you come around your antipathy, you can actually understand that when you are with God place, everybody is a citizen. Everybody is a citizen of that holy place. Of course, to be instrumental in the material, in the mechanism of the real state, they're afraid to let anybody in. Trust me, they don't let anybody in because so many times something wrong happened. And you can't blame the mechanism of the Jewish people, because until you don't let us trust you 100% and years pass, how can we know who you're playing with? It's like to have somebody from Congress that talk and it's embarrassing, because when you have a United States Congress woman that talk about children, that the Israeli put children in the cage, I think that as a representative of American government, they should go to the border of Mexico and check the cages that the children are there, that the border control put them in. We don't have any facility for children here, and definitely not in cages. And I don't know what she's talking about, but she saw a very bad movie, and it wasn't Israeli, okay? And we're talking about Iman Judah. Iman Judah is the congressman she's Islamic, a Palestinian that talks about Israel and her policy. I don't know how much of Israel she actually visited, because the people that sent the video are outraged by her, unbelievable stand to say that Israel is doing so many things, atrocious things. You know what? After they come and blame us, and when they kill their own women, I think that she needs to have a woman march for the Arab people there to save the life of women that get killed. Because here in Israel, the only thing that we hear about the Arabs, Muslims, that how many women they killed, and it's sad because the women opened, for example, 2 days ago, she opened a parlor, a beauty parlor, and sure enough, somebody went there and killed her, in her own business. Something that is outrage, and of course nobody will talk. So even that congressman, you got congresswoman, you have the power of the Congress of America. You will see that it can be very sticky if you are turning lies into speeches, where the American people are really cool about things, but they don't like to be lied to. So if you want to blame somebody, come with a fact, come with a proof, because when you indicate one finger at somebody, just remember, two fingers are showing up for you. Anyway, let's wrap it up with an incredible Independence Day. Happy Independence Day for the State of Israel. 73 years of a lot of fighting, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of incredible growth, building immense treasury of technological advancement, incredible brain of humankind, and a very, very good combination of people. Of course, we need to spread our knowledge around, and I will emphasize that the students in Israel needs to study more. I don't respect the fact that they closed the schools so much. I do know that schooling is the most important thing in every country. But for the children of the book, this is the most important thing. And I don't care if you are what color, what race, or anything. You need to be in school studying as long as you can. And for the Israeli government, if they create some adult education, that will be nice, because adults, for some reason, they like to keep them stupid. Take a page from America. Get the university to host a program for adults, so you can actually enjoy their mind, because they're smart from experience, from knowledge, and also from education. There are people that are coming from all over the world, and it took you some time to learn the language, and finally when they can talk Hebrew, just let them share the university chairs together with other. And yes, when you spread the cake, you can cut it too thin for the administration, I guess, of the university. But if you create more university, you have more income. So think, be a dollar smart and not smart on a penny. Anyway, there's so much to talk about. I never talked about the American University. I did. So I'm telling to Israel first. Happy anniversary. Good Independence Day. Go get them. Have fun. May this 73 years will be the best ever, for freedom, for love, for care, for good health, and a lot of peace and happiness, and a lot of friends around the globe, and traveling and helping and making a mission to help the world resolve itself from the corona. That will be a great mission to have. So all the best and be good. God bless you all. Ciao, ciao. See you all.
Get the inside news on Israel. At Israel News Talk Radio, we're dedicated to sharing Israel's inside story with the world by providing our listeners with news on Israeli politics, current affairs, and Israeli Jewish culture. The Israel News Talk Radio homepage also provides you, the listener, with useful information at your fingertips, with scrolling news headlines, weather, currency exchange, Shabbat candlelighting times, and so much more. Our radio programming is always accessible and on demand. We operate absolutely free of charge for everyone, everywhere. If you love what we do, partner with us now by becoming an Israel News Talk Radio supporter. With your support, you'll be inscribed on our Israel News Talk Radio Wall of Fame. There's nothing like us in the world. Be part of something great. Israel News Talk Radio. Straight talk from Israel.
Howdy, this is Rita from League City, Texas, now living in Israel. And though my heart may have belonged to Texas, it now belongs to Israel and all the fantastic show hosts at Israel News Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Michael Solomon from Kiryat Arba, Israel. And why do I love listening to Israel News Talk Radio? Because I love listening to the interesting interviews they do and their news reporting that most other media sources don't cover.
Hey, this is Nicoleko from Malmö, Sweden. It gets pretty cold here in Sweden, so I love cuddling up with a warm cup of tea while I listen to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, this is Frank Morris from Tennessee. Me and my dog Buster really love listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
News, opinion, and more. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.